Hello, Nicole. Hello.
Hello, Eric. Hello, how are you?
I am doing great. You
Great
know what else is
movie.
great? What?
The fact that I keep on flashing my bra at people.
They can't see it. What else
Good.
is great is when you guys follow, like, and subscribe wherever you are watching Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, wherever. Liking, following, subscribing is a great way to help support our shows, as is sharing them. So share it now. Let everyone know that we're live. Share it later after you're done if you're watching it in the future, if you think someone would enjoy it, if there's a case that needs to be made for your favorite player, and more. Make sure you share it again, thumbsing up, hitting that bell in YouTube, making sure you're subscribed so you get alerted when all of our content posts is the key. And if you need to know where to find all
Yes.
those things, head over to hellofriendspa.com, click on the Find Us Live page. There you'll
Mhm.
find the links to all Nicole's socials, mine, the shows, our schedule,
Yes.
and more.
It's true. You'll
So,
find all of it. And as always, if you're listening to the audio podcast version, please be sure to leave it a positive rating, a 5-star review, and share it. Hooray! Got it working with all your podcast listening pals. Today is a good day.
is it?
It is.
Why?
Because today's the day that we essentially start the finale. And finales are exciting. There's confetti and balloons and money and all those festive, amazing things.
And finally, for the first time ever, Canada's favorite player. That's exciting.
I think they heard me. I think they heard me all season say, why does Canada not do, I say AFP, but I guess it should be CFP. Why do they not do a Canada's favorite? They heard me. They took my advice because you guys know how much
Yeah.
sway I have on all productions everywhere. And now they're doing one.
I am so excited that they are doing one. It is absolutely amazing. I'm very torn.
How so? Explain.
I feel that Kiefer's game deserves to be rewarded. He did play a super manipulative game. He played a game that, was a big moves, a
Yes.
risky game. And while I may not have loved his game, I still can see it and appreciate it. And I feel like I want to reward a player that plays that way.
Absolutely. I hear that.
Then there's also, Vic, who I think gave us fun feeds, and without
Mhm.
her, we wouldn't have had so much drama and exciting live feeds. So I want to reward that. And
True.
then I feel bad for third place, who isn't going to get anything. So I'll feel bad for a Tara or a Braden or a Ty in third
Yep.
place, leaving with nothing. I want one of them to have it.
That's how I feel. I have this weird, I shouldn't say this and I shouldn't jinx it, but I have this weird sinking suspicion that Tara, who I want to win, might fall in third place, in which case I want her to win favorite for that reason, because otherwise third place you get nothing. However, I didn't even factor in Kiefer till I tweeted out, hey, who are you all voting for? And people were like, Kiefer, of course. And I was like, oh my God, that's so true. Kiefer left with essentially nothing. So I felt bad for him. And I was like, he just deserves to have his game rewarded. And then I remembered how much I love and adore the Row Show. So I was
Yeah.
like, well, what about Ro? And then I went down this rabbit hole of like, I also really like Tina. I love Julie and Josh, but they went out so early. And it was just, I went down a rabbit hole where I then decided they all should win it. And I was in a very, very bad place because I know they all can't win it. So I don't know. Like, I love Ro, but like you said, Vic, like, there's a lot of options there. I guess currently I kind of lean toward Kiefer because he's the one that just went. But I agree, if Tara were to fall into third, I definitely want Tara to get it.
I see Destinies is saying Kiefer will win it. After that edit, he is trending third in Canada. That edit was very much an edit for Kiefer to win.
I could see that. And like I said, just by the responses alone to my tweet, that's what I saw. I saw a lot of Kiefer responds, which is tremendous, and it kind of should be. The game he played, the level of manipulation, the a lot of strategic moves he either made or influenced to be made, the plans he came up with. I understand like the feeds may obviously show more of his character in the game than the edit, but I think overall it would make sense if he got it.
I completely agree that it would make sense. I actually see David King on YouTube says
Thank you.
production clearly introduced this for Kiefer. Why are you waving at David King?
Why can't I wave at David King?
First of all, I'm gonna need you to step TF off David King. If he picked David King because he thinks he looks like David King, which is a Dead by Daylight character, which is the character that I play because he's the hot shirtless guy.
Oh, I didn't
So I
know that.
just want to say that.
I did not know
So
that.
don't come for my man.
I just heard the name David King, and it was a new name to me. So I was like, "Hello, David King."
Well, hello, David King. If you're hot. I mean, if you're not hot, hello too.
Hello, David King.
um, can we vote? If so, is there a link? I believe the link is on the Big Brother Canada website.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you're gonna need a VPN to vote if you're in the
Oh.
States, but I'm sure it was something. I'm sure you
Or
can there.
why get a VPN if you can befriend a Canadian who maybe doesn't watch the show on social media and ask them to vote on your behest? So if you can find Canadian friends who don't watch, then you can maybe cast your vote through them. So whatever's easier, getting a VPN or finding a Canadian pen pal. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yes.
I see Kylie29 over on Twitch is saying I tried and it just keeps saying loading.
Hi, Kylie.
Um, So, yeah, I mean, if you're new and this is your first time here, come on over to the YR fam. There's lots of Canadians that watch over here, but they're probably all voting.
He says my real name is David King, and yes, I am new.
How you
Hello,
doing?
David King. Welcome to the HFC. Won't let me be me.
All right. Now, I feel like you can weigh in on this. Here's how I feel, right? I'm just going to
Okay.
be honest now. I'm going to be honest we're going to be honest with people, okay?
Honesty is the best policy.
This is why you need to make sure that you're following everywhere because there's going to be like a lot of things popping up. Obviously, we're going to have all the people on when the
Yes.
season's over. You guys can ask them your questions live then. We'll just
Yes.
facilitate for you. Obviously, we have our circle shows coming up. However,
However,
um, however,
however,
I was in a bit of a car accident the other day, and I don't have a
yes.
car anymore and it's totaled, but I'm fine and Hubs is fine. So there's that. It's really thrown a wrench into the black cloud of its finale week. So, So you're just gonna have Nicole and I. We didn't want to interject guests into this mix.
Into
Um
this black hole
into
of
the
doom.
chaos of I don't know what's happening in my life from moment to moment right now between insurance, like blah, no one cares. So my point is, I like that I feel leading up to this point, we've already talked a lot about the strategies, a lot about this scenario that we thought was already going to happen. So I feel like, yes, obviously we're going to talk about what happened on the show, but we can kind
But
of
we're
go
gonna
where
have a therapeutic Thursday instead and just have a hello friends and hash this all.
hash what out.
It's been a week.
Well, the Hello Friends shows on Fridays. See you then. Hash it all out. No, my point was we can kind of go wherever we want. So if
Yes.
people have questions, definitely leave your questions in whatever chat that you are watching in. My point was I saw a good one from Jelly Donuts on YouTube saying, why would Tara take a showmance? Didn't they learn from Nicole?
Okay.
Okay, I didn't read
Valid.
the whole question, only read the first sentence and thought to myself, this is such a good question for Nicole to answer. And then I read the other half of the question.
This is a great question. how can I word it? So I'll preface this by saying, my uncle has come to visit, and he was asking me a lot about my Big Brother game the last like day and a half, which has caused me to talk about it a lot. And also watching this episode with him, he asked it as well. So I had the question at the bottom of my notes to make sure we discussed it. And how I would word it is, there comes a point where, yes, from the outside looking in, it's like they're a duo, they're together, they're going to take each other. However, yes, the final four, final three, it comes down to who you pick to come with you to final two. However, the person who gets the pick is the person who wins. So it also comes down to competitions. So for someone like Tara, for her, it was okay, do I bring a Kiefer who has won a lot and kind of made bigger moves, no offense, or do I bring a Braden who hasn't won as much and isn't as big of a threat, so to speak? And also, in those final two chairs, who am I more likely to beat? If I sit next to Kiefer, he'll probably win against me, versus if I sit next to Braden, I might have more of a shot. So yes, Ty and Braden are a duo, but that's one factor. There are other factors of who would I win against, who am I more likely to beat in these competitions, and I think that's where it fell for her. Of, if she sends Braden out and Braden walks into jury and says, Tara had the sole vote to evict and chose me over Kiefer, that's going to make her look worse in the jury's eyes than if she sends Kiefer's out. So now it's a matter of her just winning and taking herself, which is unfortunate. But had she not won and someone takes her to final two, she's probably not going to win anyway, because the jury's going to say, you could have got rid of Kiefer and you didn't. So in that moment, there's a lot of factors. And I know I'm on a rant, so hopefully Eric can like condense that and make it more clear. But there's more
Um,
factors than just they're a showmance.
yes, basically, Nicole is saying she hears your question and she's very offended by it. So here's the thing. Are you saying that you think Tara's decision was based on what the jury would think?
I think her decision was based on a number of things, and I do think that's part of it. I do think she knows how much of a say Kiefer had in the plan to get rid of Jed. People saw how much he
Mhm.
influenced the beginning of the game, and I think when it comes down to it, it's like, who do I have a better shot against? And I know you
Mhm.
saw the conversation where she's asking Ty, "Would you take me over Bray?" She's asking Bray, "Would you take me over Ty?" I get all that, but I think on the grand scheme of game, and this is nothing against Braden, but I think Kiefer's kind of here and Braden's here, and I think everything else aside, she had the moment of, I need to get rid of the quote unquote better player.
Okay, correct. So that's what I was just checking in. I don't understand anybody who says like, "Oh my god, we can't believe that Tara left a couple in the game." Now, I'm not going to beat this dead horse again
Yes.
of, in Ty's mind, they're not a couple. In Braden's mind, they clearly are a couple. It is not
Mhm.
the same thing as a showmance that we've seen on Big Brother before. So that's number one. Number two, none of those people were taking Tara. So the
Which I believe as
simple
well. I do.
100% none of those people were taking Tara. 0% chance any of them were taking Tara. So doesn't matter if there's a showmance in the final two, if the Queen of England is in the final two, if the psychic is in the final two and says, if you don't take me, you're going to lose. It really doesn't matter. What Tara needed to do was take out the
Right.
biggest threat to her winning. And
Yes.
yes, she can beat Kiefer in a comp, maybe, but she's not going to beat Kiefer sitting at the final two.
Yes.
So I think then the argument comes, now it's a gamble. Are you
Yes.
going to take out somebody that you can beat in a comp so that you have a better chance to be in the final two? Or, but then you're going to lose? Or it's a gamble. My point is,
Yes.
there is no right answer.
Yeah. And like you said, no offense, it sounds so rude, but none of them were taking her to final two. So we know regardless, she has to win her way there. So exactly what you're saying. If she has to win her way there, would you rather bust your ass, win your way there, and sit next to Braden? Or bust your ass, win your way there, and sit next to Kiefer? having already sent out Braden next to Kiefer, and the jury knows that. And the jury's sitting there going, you could have got this guy out. And now you're sitting next to him. You're so stupid, you lose. So it was a gamble. And I do genuinely think she did the best move for her game in the position she's in, when she's in a position where it's win or you're third. And that sounds so horrible because I love Tara and I want to see her win. But I think she did the best thing she could to either come in third or come in first, and at least now she can maybe come in first as opposed to, oh no, you know.
I'm just going to take the final follow up from Jelly Donuts to
Okay,
say, Tara, always said we need a mom and dad in the final two. So if neither are taking Tara, why not help a father out?
I
Well,
have an
I'll
answer.
let you say your opinion.
Okay.
Here's my opinion. Because Kiefer didn't give a shit when he voted her out. Oh, is that your
Yep.
opinion too?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
I didn't think of it. I didn't think of it. Again, it was interesting having my uncle there because it was such a different perspective. And we were telling my uncle like how the season has unfolded, what happened. And he was like, no, no, no. Don't let this guy give her the sob story that he has a wife and he has kids. You guys just said he voted her out and she has a husband and kids. And I was like, huh, that's very
Yeah.
true. Kiefer has no leg to stand on saying, oh,
Nope.
no, no, my
But he knew
children,
that.
when he sent her out. So, and yes, it's a viable, you're going to throw everything in the kitchen sink at the person to try. But I think Kiefer knew. I think he's a very, very, very intuitive person. And the second it was Final Four, I could tell he had a vibe. The second the secret eviction, not secret eviction, sudden eviction was happening, you
That
could tell he
happens
had a
every
vibe.
year.
And I think he just had this feeling of like it's kind of like my time to go. Like he said in his speech, he's like, "That's all I have. I'm out of tricks." And I think it's
Yeah.
just that knowing, like, now's my time to go. And he
He
played a hell of a game, but you
he
can't
knew
use an
on the bed.
argument when you sent Tara out.
Yeah, I mean, he knew on the bed. We heard him say, I never should have sent you out in that thing. He
Yeah.
knew right there that he was going. I also don't get the people that are so upset about like using your kids and using your family and using this and using that. I don't think there's anything wrong in saying, I'm a parent. I think it's like, oh my god, I don't want to go so far into this hole cuz whatever,
It's an
but
appeal.
what?
It's an appeal. But go ahead.
No, I just feel like, as a culture and a society right now, we are very much like there is only one train of thought, and you are either that train of thought or not. Meaning, Kiefer, like I saw a whole bunch of people, and again, keep in mind, I don't like Kiefer's game that much, so just
Yeah.
keep that in
Yep.
mind. But I see people like raging. How dare Kiefer say he has a family?
Yep.
As if it's offensive to Braden who doesn't have a family. No, Kiefer can be upset that he has a family, and the money could change his family's life. That is not a direct attack on Braden not having a family or Ty
Hmm.
not having kids. We are allowed to just let someone have a feeling.
It's true. It's absolutely true. That's like
Mhm.
someone like me, being like, "Oh, I just want to move out and make a life of my own and branch out." And someone being like, "Oh, how dare she be against the parents in the house?" It's not the case. It's case by case. It's everybody's individual situation. Everybody has bills. Everybody has hardships. Everybody has things that money can make better. And like you're saying, everybody's allowed to have their feelings of, oh my gosh, but my mother has medical bills, or oh my gosh, my kid, I want to put him through college. So you just gotta let people feel their feelings and understand where it's coming from, and not always take it as a direct, well, just
Attack
because I
on
don't have
you
kids, it's an
personally.
attack on me. No.
Yeah, it's a bit much. It's a
I hear
bit
that.
much.
Everybody's allowed to feel their feelings.
And don't get me wrong, like you can be annoyed. And I say it's only okay if you have a show. If you have a show like we do, then you're allowed to be super opinionated and get annoyed all you want. That's what makes it entertaining for people to watch. But I mean, if you don't, then maybe just try and be a little understanding.
It's true.
I think because yeah, I don't I didn't have any problem with him making the appeal to
No.
I didn't have a problem with them having that conversation. They are two parents.
Yeah,
So
and it's
I didn't have a
It's
problem
also
with it.
human. It's also
Yeah,
human. I would think it's sketch if someone who wants it so badly didn't appeal to those things. I think it's a natural human way to say, "Oh my gosh, but please, I want this. I'm a fan. I want the title. I just want to be in those final two chairs. You know how much this means to me. I have a family who wants to see me in the final two." Everybody appeals on a humanistic level, and again,
yeah,
it's just the way you feel in that moment, and you're gonna have a heart to heart with a fellow parent and say, "You're a parent. I have kids too." That's just the way of the game, but also human beings in life, and that's how we relate to each other. That's how we, try to stay afloat and fight. And yeah, I have no problem with him pitching that. I mean, you try everything, but also you are emotional and you reveal everything.
exactly. Um, yeah, I see Courtney saying, "Do you think Tara would have kept Kiefer if he had not voted her out and let Ty win the tie?" I don't think it matters. I think she's saying, do we really think that if on the fake double, Kiefer would have kept her if now the situation stayed the same, Tara wouldn't have used it? I don't think it would have been the same. I think Tara came back into the game feeling completely betrayed and like
Yeah.
every single one of them lied to her. So she had no loyalty. Had she came back going, every single person lied to me except Kiefer, I think she would have been way more loyal to Kiefer and been like, okay, I know you have my back. You have proved it. I now have a concrete reason to believe, even if it's not right, but at least I have a reason to believe you would take me to final two that I don't have with other people.
That's also twofold though, because had that happened, would Braden be upfront about
Sure,
it? Or would
exactly.
Braden and Kiefer both fight and be like, "I was the vote. No, I was the vote. No, I was the vote." And then who would she trust? So that would put a monkey wrench in it. And on top of that, if she felt that degree of loyalty from someone, whether it be Braden or Kiefer or whatever, she may not have fought because when you back someone up in a corner, they fight, and she was in a corner. She may not have fought so hard, and we might not have seen her where she is in the position she's in. I think she fought and won so many comps, boom, 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 boom. Because when you realize you're alone and nobody else is fighting for you but yourself, you have more of that fire under your tush to win it. So I think we can't even go down that rabbit hole because that could lead to so many different side roads of, oh, then she didn't fight, then she lost this comp. You don't know.
Right.
Mhm.
If Tara gets third place, I think she'll regret not taking Kiefer. She could have
Nah,
still gotten 20K, says Destiny's. Nah, I
I
think
don't think so.
I actually think the fact we heard it from Tara's mouth. She said, my heart wants to keep you. My head is telling me not to. She did what her head said. I don't think she will have regrets. I think if she did not vote Kiefer out,
And
that
few regrets.
for the rest of her life, she will go, I knew it. I knew what was best for my game. I didn't do it. Yada, yada,
And
yada. Yeah.
think regardless if she comes in third, would you rather have it under your belt? You got rid of Jed and Kiefer, or Jed and Braden next to Kiefer? I think, regardless, even if she comes in third, you're gonna have jury members be like, "Tara, if you were in those final two chairs, I was voting for you. You got rid of Jed twice and Kiefer." What? Like, I wouldn't. I'm being honest. I think that jury's gonna see Kiefer and be like, "Tara deserves to win." And then when she comes in third, let's say, I think the jury's gonna be like, "Oh, who do we pick of these two?"
Look,
Like, that's how I feel they're all gonna be, because I think it's kind of like, "Whoa, Tara," at this moment.
I think we have seen it time and time again from Big Brother Canada to BBUS. You can play a flawless game in the beginning of Big Brother, but it is the people that win out, those final comps that you think are down, and they just win, 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 win
Yep.
back to back in the end game. Those are the people that get burned into the jury's mind.
Mhm.
And if you are lucky enough to be that person and be Tara, who was not in all of those alliances that were all backstabbing each other. She doesn't have the hatred and the I feel backstabbed and
Yep.
betrayedness that a Kiefer, a Beth, these people very well could vote for her.
Oh
in
yeah.
the end. Like I would not be surprised. But um here's the thing. We're not gonna forget there's a lot of people that want to hear your take on the competition. So
Of course.
well, hold on that for 1 minute. I see
Eh,
Chickadee wanted to, but I saw Maximus' mom said, "What was your favorite look from Monday's episode? Butterfly bray, feathers bray, or tie crown?" So which outfit did you like the best? Did you ever post
I
that video?
no, oh, I can oh yeah.
We have an answer for you in the form of a video that Nicole will post soon.
It's true. It's very true. It shows which one I definitely don't
Yeah.
lean toward.
Well, which
Um,
one did you like the best?
Tara's. I would love that giant tutu with like the balls. I love it.
Okie dokie.
See, it's true. No, but I loved her tutu. See, I would like a combination of all of them. I would have wanted like her tutu with Brayden's wings, with like ties like purple aesthetic. That I really liked. I like that whole no to Kiefer, but the rest looked really really good. Oh, with Kiefer sneakers. Oh my god, yes. So Kiefer sneakers, Tara's tutu, Brayden's wings, and Ty's purple sequin. Woo, I'm feeling
Well,
it.
again, you know, there is not an audio version of it. However, you can go back and watch on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube. Nicole did a watch party for Monday's episode where she watched it with you all, and you can see her reaction to all of it in real time. Or, like we said, there's a little mashup video from that episode that we'll be posting shortly for you.
Yes, it's really exciting. It will be posting shortly. I'm really excited for you guys to see it.
So now what did you think of that competition that we saw tonight for this final POV that Tara ended up winning?
I think it goes without saying that I was screaming from the high heavens. I love all things Nancy Drew. I love sequins like puzzles that are like this leads to this leads to this. I love escape rooms. And I think everything about that competition again was very fair. Essentially anybody can do it. It had the memorization of like, the season and the house guests and vetoes and stuff like that, but it also had like skill, it had memorization. I loved it. That's something I would love to compete in. That's something I would have a lot of fun competing in. And it just goes back to what I was saying all season, where their competitions remind me of very, very early Big Brother US. The competitions that basically, again, and it sounds rude, but like anybody can do, whereas not everybody can, climb across a rope bridge. You know what I'm trying to say? So I think it's very fair for everybody to try. What I will say, the only thing that was maybe a little bit like, was the wall that they had to break through. You have three bigger men and a very little gal, and I think
Sucks
that
to
was a
suck.
little, a little, uh-oh.
But
But then
what?
again, she
No.
also had, she also had the best strategy. The other ones were like, bust through the wall.
Yeah. And not for nothing, all the comps favor the bigger, quote unquote, stronger guys all the time. I'm thrilled to see something favor a smaller person in the game. I think that's fair, 100%.
Okay.
Um Also, I agree with what Sparkly Eye says. Ty choked, and not looking too good for Ty winning the three-part HOH. Ty just,
Uh,
and by the way, not for nothing. Here's where I lose a lot of respect for Kiefer too. He's just walking. Same thing
I
with
think
that suitcase comp the other day. Your life is on the line. This is the game. The fact that you're walking. You should be
I
running, that you should be hyperventilating to the point that you're gonna pass out, that paramedic the fact that you're walking makes him be like, "Poof, you can go."
I agree with that. Braden was someone that I was getting a little frustrated with watching
Me
because I
too.
felt like it was a very slow, is this the picture? And then busted through the wall without memorizing, which, okay, I get it. Those things happen. Sometimes you're like, oh, this is part of the aesthetic of the comp. Let me get going. But even when he did do that, there was a moment of like, oh, I had to reassemble that. Don't like, and to compare that to Tara, who was
Mhm.
like hyper focused, scooting around, and obviously they had on very tight pants and a very tight skirt, so I felt bad for them in those costumes. But she was scooting around, like she looked at that wall and was like, "All right, strategy. I'm gonna only break a couple. Strategy. I'm gonna." So I will say I saw Braden and Kiefer kind of slow themselves, where I was like, "What the hell?" And Ty, I was just like, "Oh my darling," with like not knowing where the phone was when it was ringing and stuff like that where I was just like, Ty, pull yourself together. But I again watching with my uncle who has not watched it all season, he was like, her, she has the drive. I want to see her get it. And it is very true. You put the four of them next to each other on four screens and said, who wants this win? People will go, oh, her. You have like maybe I would say her and Ty. The other two, it was like, maybe I'll get a veto today.
I don't understand what they were doing. And I do see, how does Ty not know what a rotary phone is?
He's young though.
Yeah, he's young. It's the same thing, and I've told
Well,
this story, I'm sure, on
okay.
our Hello Friends podcast where we discuss our lives, pop culture, and more. Um, where I've said to someone not so recently, I would say within the last 5 years, I distinctly remember having a conversation with like a teenager in a 7-Eleven being like, who wanted to use my cell phone. And I went, there's a payphone out there you can use. And she literally looked at me and went, what's a payphone?
But yes, okay. So what I will say is yes, he's young, but I don't at all think it was, I don't know what a phone looks like. Gonna break the wall here for a second. Hopefully I can say this and don't spoil anything for anyone. I am 99.99% sure that ringing was not coming from the phone itself. That
Oh,
ringing is
sure.
coming from the speakers. So
Oh,
now you're in a
100%.
room, you're in a tizzy, and all of a sudden the speakers are doing a ring sound. You're like, where am I? Where am I going? It's not like the phone was freaking ringing on the desk and he's like, which way do I go? Like, it's ringing from the speakers. So he's probably like, where the fuck is this phone?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. And Ty's 29,
Yeah.
so not that young.
I mean, young enough. I mean, I grew up with a couple rotary phones in the house. We have one now, like for the aesthetic,
You
but I
still
think the
have one.
average person my age doesn't really know them. So 26, I mean,
Yeah, I
and the
don't
whole
know.
reindeer argument, I'll argue with you guys. I think the average person, if you stop somebody on the street and say, "Are reindeer real?" I think the average person would go, "No, are they?" Because it's something you don't think about. But that's an argument for another day.
It is an argument for another day. Um, I'm really upset that we did not get Marsha this season. Clearly, we're not getting Marsha. I only have one question for Rissa. I hope that we get a chance to talk to her again postseason. My number one question is, where was Marsha this season?
My question was, why don't you do Canada's favorite? And my question was answered because now they're doing it.
So who would you vote for?
Oh, if I had to vote right now,
Got to vote right now. If they were, well, I mean, technically, we do have to vote right now.
okay, if I had to vote right this very second, I don't know why my answer is Roe.
Is
I
wrong
don't.
with it? No,
I don't know.
no,
I think
no.
something about.
Oops, sorry, something's wrong with Nicole's audio. We are supporting Tara.
Oh, of course. Well, no, you have to understand. It's in my brain that Tara's going to win the whole thing. Tara is going to win the whole thing. If Tara comes in third, then I want Tara to get Canada's favorite, and it'd be very unfortunate if she didn't. And backpedaling a little bit, I see Debbie asking why would Ty go off and look in the hall. Also, in regard to competitions, they probably explained this is going to be in two phases. After you finish this phase, you're going to go down the hall, go through this exit, and that's phase two. So he might have thought oh, something's ringing. I must have to go to phase two. And production was probably like, Ty, don't go down the hallway. Stay here, please. So that's probably why he went and looked in the hall, because he probably knew phase two was that way and he thought he had to go, if that makes sense.
See, I see a lot of people like Rasha's Fun World, Maximus Mom. I saw other people saying they would be voting for Braden, Braden, Braden,
Uh,
Braden. Here's where I'm gonna
listen, if
what?
anybody wins it this season, I'd be like, yeah,
Correct. I agree with that.
you know,
100% I agree with that. Um, here's where I'm gonna be totally a hypocrite, and I realize
okay.
I'm being a hypocrite. Braden's like what, 22?
He's young, maybe 24.
Yeah, you got your whole life to make money. You need to let the older people, they need it more. Yeah, Bray doesn't need it. I'm not voting for Braden. He has his whole life to be amazing. I'm
He,
sick of these young 20-something-year-olds winning the $539 million state lottos. No, 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 no. I want a new law. You get to win no money, no prizes unless you are 30 years or older. My law.
that's what we call my law.
Yeah, Eric's law. No one should have that much money at that age.
It depends. It's case by case. There's 20-year-olds that'll piss it away. There's 50-year-olds that'll piss it away. There's 23-year-olds that are very responsible. There's 50-year-olds that are very
Well,
responsible. So
guess what? They're all
I think it's
living
just case
under
by case.
it's real simple. They're all living under Eric's law. So if you're not 30, I don't care about your sob story.
Okay.
Eric's law.
I
I'm going
think
to become
Eric's law is
president.
not taking into account people under 30 that have had a lot of hardship. You can't say there's
Darn.
people that are 70 that have lived a life of luxury, and there's people that are 20 that have known more dark days than you and I put together. So I think, it's all case by case. And I think when it comes to Canada's favorite, like I said, I think there's so many
Yeah.
people on this cast. I think all of them, to a certain extent, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. Pre-jurors, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, a part of me wants to vote for Julie and Josh. Can they just split the money?
It's a
Like,
good
something
point.
about them too. Like, I just love them.
That's a good point. Nick Morales says, does that mean we have to remove Nicole's AFP? Correct. If I become president and put my rule into place, everyone that has won money that is not yet 30 will have to pay it back. So,
Okay,
sorry.
I'll get right on that.
And by the way, if you don't,
Bye-bye.
off to Canada.
I'll have to go reach out to my offshore accounts.
Yep. Do it. Do it. Do it. Eric's law. Eric's rules. We're living in Eric's rules now. Kiefer has talked about the House of Commons, which is Congress. He's winning Canada's favorite. I think Kiefer is winning Canada's favorite because he is First Nation. It has been a part of his storyline. He is literally someone who represents Canada and
Yeah,
the people. I mean, that's been his storyline. That
yeah,
even if Kiefer doesn't win it for real, Kiefer's winning it.
yeah. No,
Like
and
they're
yeah, I agree with
making
that.
Kiefer win it.
I agree with that. I see. If someone said to me, "Guess who it'll be?" I would say Kiefer.
Of course, 100%. He was he was
Keem-tastic. What is
team
Keem?
captain.
Team
He
captain. Yeah.
already won that vote. Kiefer's got it. Here's the thing. Kiefer's edit never showed the side of Kiefer that made the people that don't care for Kiefer's game not care for Kiefer. So my point is, the
Mhm.
people that loved Kiefer and voted him in, and the majority of people are just the TV watchers,
Yep.
week after week, they have just been fed this beautiful Kiefer edit that just ended in a sad, tragic way. Kiefer's win.
Which is not a false edit. It's just
No,
edited with,
yeah,
I shouldn't say
it's
just
just
the
a
positive,
one-sided
just
edit.
yeah, one-sided. Because, and this is something I always argue, is everybody's multifaceted. You're making a TV show, everybody plays their character, plays their role. If they aired everybody being multifaceted, it would be the most confusing edit to fit into 3 hours a week ever. They need everybody to fit their little role of, like, you're the funny one, you're the quiet one, you're the
Right.
bitchy one, you're the, inspiring one. And that's the edit he received. Because yes, part of his personality is extremely, extremely inspiring, and I do agree that he'll walk away with it tomorrow.
I think my thing always across the board is always I just want to see I just want to see people be open-minded and able to like own their stuff. Meaning, you know, Kiefer's big thing is they were so mean to me in that, pantry room. Okay,
Mhm,
and there has been times when you've been just as mean to other people in this
mhm.
game.
Which
So,
which doesn't discredit the way they treated him in the storage room, but yes.
correct. Correct.
Mhm.
But you can also use that then as your I'm the victim because that thing happened to me when you did it to other people yourself in the same game. So that's all I'm saying. So just in other words, I hope when Kiefer comes out, he doesn't stay on this. Ro and Kyle are the devil.
No,
They
we
bullied me in
already
the
got
room.
past that.
Well, he's been saying it a lot on the feeds and he hasn't stopped. So it's gonna really,
They'll
annoy
be
me if he continues that postseason.
He's interacting with Ro and Jury, they'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they all just work it out.
Which, by
Work
the
it out.
way, they're having a lot of fun in Jury. I wanna go fly myself to Canada just to spend time with them.
Yeah,
Right? They're having a fun time. Like, they look like they're having a lot of fun. Like, I wanna freaking, I don't know, work out with Jen and Ro and go fishing with Tina and Vic and, I don't know, do fun stuff.
I have to go back and watch the whole entire jury segment. I was very distracted during the entire jury segment. I missed everyone's reactions to seeing Beth.
Essentially, what you really need to know is Jed was like, "I love her. I want this to, continue outside of the house." And they were like, "all kissy, kissy, lovey, lovey." And really, the only thing was like them hugging in front of everybody, and you see everybody like, and then Victoria saying, "I know I should kind of feel bad that." Their love story has reunited in jury because now, both their games are ended, but I don't. Ha! And she's laughing because, she's Vic and Vic is Vic.
Love it, love it, love it. $10,000 would make a huge difference in his life. I completely agree. Little Big Red says, my guess is this cast will be the most harmonious of all time. And I think
For
clink
now.
clink. I think clink clink, you're crazy. I think this will be a cast that has fights publicly, and normally previous Big Brother casts and alumni and higher ups in the high the hierarchy of Big Brother Canada is always very good at reining the current cast in and being like, we are Big Brother Canada. Don't air your stuff publicly. Do not fight on social media. They're very good about controlling the image postseason, but we saw that crack starting last season. And I have a feeling with this cast, I don't know. My gut tells me there's going to be some feuds happening. And unfortunately, and we know that we disagree with this, I think it's going to have to do that you got family members very passionate about the way people were treated in the game. So now you're involving families into the game and they already have brought it to social media. So now the players are going to want to defend their families to social media, and that's going to get the other people's fans to start attacking those people. And I think it's going to be a big giant shit show postseason.
I think in general, all that bullshit aside, because again, the online streets are very small. They feel very big, but the people that are on Twitter religiously commenting and tweeting and trolling, they're so, so minuscule from the home audience. I think in general, they're going to be a very close family cast where I think it's going to be, yes, dysfunctional, but I think we're going to see a lot more um, as opposed to like everybody's mad everybody. Yes, there's going to be fights between specific people, but I think there's going to be the mother figure, the father figure, the peacemaker. I think there's going to be a lot more members that are
There's
the
going to be
peacemakers that are the core.
There's literally gonna be Beth and Jed's mom fighting on Twitter.
And if they do that, that's just extremely unfortunate, and I would argue like
Oh, that's gonna happen. I would bet my life on it.
just live your life. Like, the game's over, the game is over. I don't understand fighting on social media. You have a problem with somebody, contact them directly. Like, I don't know. I don't get it.
Oh, I don't get it either, but I'm telling you that just simply because Beth's personality does not strike me as someone who is going to find out that all this stuff was said about her on social media and then be like, now I'm going to take the high road when she really didn't do anything wrong. She was playing a game. And that's
It's
where I say then I think she's gonna do that, and then that's gonna bring out the people that can't stand her and be like, "Don't talk back to someone's mom." And that is I already
I don't understand. This is a topic for a podcast, but I never understand. Just a note of wisdom. The more you try to push a couple apart, they tend to kind of gravitate more together, because the more you're like, you're bad for each
yeah.
other, don't Romeo and Juliet. It's like us, you'll see. Like, it's just, it, like, I don't mean to laugh, but it's like, if you don't like each other, like, you don't have to like each other. But I don't know. I don't know. You
But
have,
much
I,
and then much like Romeo and Juliet, the couple ends up dead or finding out that all the people that told them they were wrong were correct. So you probably should listen to those people and avoid that whole middle part. But sure, I get it. It does push them together temporarily.
yeah. And Jed's mom didn't live with them. She didn't live with them in that house. She's not with them in jury. It's very, very different when it's not you, and it's a tough pill to swallow, but you have to, and you have to kind of like accept it for what it is, and let everything naturally, like you're saying, either part ways or naturally just happen as it happens, and try to understand that
Mhm.
these are two individuals that live together and have some sort of emotional connection, whether it's one that will continue for decades or just a couple months. They still have that, and that's
Yeah.
between them.
We'll see. We'll see what happens with them postseason. I plan on staying TF out of it.
Exactly. Once the season's up, I'm like, peace out, Cub Scouts.
Well, no, because ultimately we'll be right in the middle of that gunfire, but I've done very well in avoiding it. Because, I don't think anybody else does. I know nobody else does what we do of bringing the people on and letting the audience ask them their
Yes.
questions. But then I often find that that will lead to, you said on that show that blah, 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 de blue, 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 blah, 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 blah. And sometimes it leads to Twitter fights. But, I'm here for fun.
We're all just humans trying to live our best lives, and there's so many worse things than not liking somebody.
True.
Mhm.
Very true. I don't like you when I do this show with you.
Exactly.
I have no respect for Jed's mom, honestly. She's acting like the child. She needs to focus on supporting her son and instead of worrying about shading Beth, says Heather from Twitch,
I
not Eric.
I I respect Jed's mom, but again, I think it just comes down to realizing that she had a very different perspective on things. And I gave this rant on, I think, last week's episode, so I won't give it again. But you have a very different perception of things. What you saw and what you heard as an omniscient character on the outside is very different from someone first person living it. And you have to
But even if
be
it's
a listening
not,
ear for your son, be supportive for your son, give him your opinions, but not in a bombardment. And I'm not just saying her with her son, I'm saying anybody with a sibling, a spouse, a friend. It's a very different, you're on two very different sides of the spectrum, and it takes a while to meet in the middle and be like, oh, I get what you're saying from watching, and for that person to go, oh, I get what you're saying from living it. And you just gotta kind of naturally let everything settle as it does. And I wish them all, I really do, I wish them all the best. I wish them all to find peace, whether it's together, separate, whatever, with Big Brother stuff, beyond Big Brother stuff. I just wish them all peace with it, to be honest.
and by the way, I would say even if she's correct, like
Yeah, of
even if it
course.
doesn't have to be take a step back and did it and all of that, she could have everything correct, and Beth could be the devil herself, spawned from hell, and Jed's mom could have watched her come out and At some point, you just have to let an
Let
adult
it.
be an adult and make an adult decision because you're only gonna hurt your relationship with that person when you try and control them.
Yep. Yep. Your son's an adult. Everybody in that house is adults, and how they handle themselves postseason with themselves, with each other. That's how they handle it. And it may be something they look back on a year later and go, shit, I should have done it this way. Or maybe something they look back at a year later and go, I'm glad I did it my way. But either way, that's growth, that's life. And sometimes people need to keep their opinions to themselves.
And I see people saying like, "Eric, you don't understand. You're not a parent. It's the way moms are." It's just
No,
I hear I hear all that you're saying, and I would come back with one of my very good friends was just on Big Brother, and
yes.
I would say they gave up a ton to do it. I'm aware what they gave up to do it. I think I gave up some things to do it. And then I got to watch for 2 weeks a whole bunch of people on the live feeds tear down everything about me publicly. So I do know what it's like. And you know what I didn't do? Go on Twitter and freak out about it. And you know what? Nicole Frenzel came out and blocked everybody and followed me. That's how you do it, Jed's mom.
You gotta, you gotta,
Kill him with kindness.
just be a good person. Just see it for what it is, and understand we're all just trying to live our best lives. Everybody's trying to win a game, and when you get out of the game, everybody's just trying to live their life and be happy. Nobody's waking up in the morning and going, I want to be miserable. Like, nobody does that. So everybody's just trying to do their best, and I wish more people, in that house, outside the house, on social media, I wish more people would see it that way.
Yeah. I do too. I really wish the best for them. And who knows? In I got a feeling I would have no way to know. But I have a feeling that
Okay.
maybe the global and like the network or those people, maybe they will have a little talk with everyone once the
Yeah.
season's over, remind people about their contracts and maybe do a little threats of like, "Oh, do you wanna come back on this show? Then you better relax on social media and control the people," or like, they could, like, put a little pressure on them like that, we don't know.
It's true. I'd imagine. I feel like, yeah, it makes sense.
Or they could just guilt them. It would be a real shame if such a culturally diverse cast that is really broken a lot of boundaries and proven that we can cast diverse cast on shows, get even better entertainment value. It would be a real shame. There's a really good chance that we are, not going to have the white guy or the white girl be the winner this season. So we're going to have a, diverse winner. Um, it would be a shame for the last thing in people's minds or the
Drama.
takeaway of the season to be people fighting on Twitter. Like, "Oh, yeah,
Yep.
but it all ended with all these Twitter fights," and, it would be a shame.
Yes. And to which I'd also say to any castmates who may be listening or will listen to this, again, most people, their end cap is, yay, this person's the winner. Yay, this person won the favorite. Amazing season. Have a great night. The stuff on Twitter, like, you think you're speaking to the universe, you think you're speaking to every single person. It's such a small amount. So if even if there is drama and hatred, it's on such a small scale, and your life is so much bigger and better than that.
And no one needs to see it from you, Twitter follower, watcher. Like person who's gonna wanna be like, "Oh my god, I have this clip where Beth said this one thing that I've edited to this one sentence that I gotta go get to Jed so that he can see." He don't need it.
Just
Trust
let
me,
them
his
cope, let them
mom
live.
will fill him in.
Exactly. Just let them do their thing. They there's
Let
no
'em do
need
their thing.
to poke.
I know, we're killjoys. We're killjoys of
I know
fun. But I
we
would
should be
argue
like
this.
inciting.
But here's the thing. I think people hear this and like, God, You used to love the drama. You used to love the fighting. You used to want the popcorn and da. Okay, I hear you, and you're correct. Then do you know what I realized? Do you like shows with people? Do you like having them engage with you? Because while that Twitter toxicity is fun
I don't
for
think so.
the 3 minutes or even 3 days that it lasts, right? Then you've driven those people from social media. So you've ever lost your chance to probably hear from them, get to experience them on a show, hear their perspective. It really just drives a lot of the good people away. And the other thing that it does is it makes people who probably would be good at Big Brother, who want to play the game, go, God, if this is what
Yep.
happens when you do this game, I'm not going. In other words, we're just shooting ourselves in the foot by encouraging it. So I'm not saying don't enjoy it if it happens naturally. Enjoy, but you don't need to engage it. You don't need to fuel the fire. You don't need to send DMs or post clips and tag them. It'll happen if it's going to happen. Be the change you want to see in the world.
Yep. And
Little
as someone who
fuckers.
has never enjoyed drama outside Twitter on Twitter, because I just don't get it. Everybody's human. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody's trying. And I think the best thing you could do is kind of like educate people and lift them up and make them feel positive. And like when these house guests get out, receive them with love and understanding. And yes, if certain things, if they do come out and ask questions, if they do come out and say, "How is this wrong?" or "How is this bad?" Educate and inform and reach out with words and not with like incoherent profanities and threats and stuff
Just
like
my
that. Like there's
point
better
is
people.
there's gonna be people who do it, is my point. So, like, if you're
Unfortunately.
listening and that's you, you don't gotta be that person. Trust me, other people are gonna do it. And again, I promise you, the people that will make the real, because I think a lot of people that do it because it's a way to get a house guest attention. You're going to get their attention by, I got the clip of the thing so and so said, and unfortunately we know that gets their attention, and that's, I think, why people do it. But I promise you, you got that person's attention for a hot second, and then they're never thinking about you again. As
Yep.
opposed to the people who are kind and
Mhm.
look at all the people whose names Nicole knows, all the people
Mhm.
whose names I know. Those are all the people that do kind things, that are
Yep.
nice, that we see being kind to people. I'm telling you, it's better and it'll last longer, and you'll actually get a real relationship with the person you like. So much more than being like, I got the drama that
Exactly.
everyone loves a drama snitch for 5 seconds until they've worked the problem out with the other person, and then you're seen as the problem.
Exactly. And we're not saying be yes men. We're not saying sweep
Nope.
real issues, real, concerns under the rug. We're just saying you could say what you mean without saying it mean.
Right. Right. 100%. And that's so incredibly true. I'm not saying you can't have a problem with something Kiefer said.
Exactly.
Just don't be like, hey, you mullet
Profanity, profanity. Yeah.
wearing
Like,
fatso. Like,
well,
I don't, whatever. Like, you don't got to be mean about it. I do want a shirt that says "Keep it real," though.
I'm excited to meet Keith and interact with Keith. I feel like he's my kind of people.
But just a side note here for a second, as we do, like, what could my shirt be? Like, he did "Keep it real" instead of "Keep it real." So how do I use Eric in a shirt?
Um,
Like, what is Eric? Like, I don't.
um, you're erratic.
Yeah, how to go to erratic?
I tried.
You're Eric. No.
What?
Sounds like erect.
It does sound like erect, but you wouldn't say you're erect. You're er- I have nothing.
Our show will make you Eric.
Ew, no. What about mine? Mine's Nicole.
Yeah, it's you go a lot with that.
Get erect and put it in your Nicole.
Exactly. Yep.
Wow.
Sorry, I don't know why I don't know why we went there.
I don't know, we
Beth,
went down a very dark path there.
we did. If I don't like someone, I don't follow them, converse with them, or about them. I don't see what the point is. Kylie, congratulations on being an adult.
Thank you, Kylie. We love you.
Welcome. You passed the adult test. If you wanted to know the baseline for being an adult, you just figured it out. Thank you. And I bet you're happy and well adjusted in life.
Yes.
Terrific. Oh, don't roll your snark your nose at that. I thought that was very good, Nicole
I
Cox.
I agree with Nicole Cox until you said it out loud, then it kind of tarnished it for me.
Rude.
Terry,
Look. Wow. Here's the thing.
here's the thing.
I had another point that I wanted to make right from the beginning of the show that I wanted everyone's opinion on, and now I kind of forgotten it, and I
Okay.
thought if I would keep talking that
So
it
I'll
would
just
come
start
to
talking.
me. No, it had to do with something about Ty and Kiefer. I
Oh,
really
Ty crying. He loves him.
did you find it offensive? I think Michelle tweeted or maybe said in the chat before that it seemed like rude to Tara that Kiefer was voted out and then kind of fell into Ty's arms and cried and was like, you win it all, blah, 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 blah.
So I think it was Tara.
Yeah, do you think that was kind of rude that Kiefer got voted out and went and said to Ty, I hope you win it all? It in a way is saying nothing I said about Tara I meant.
No, I think again, it's heat of the moment. It's emotion in the moment. It's one of those things where you're overcome. She just voted to evict you. You're sitting next to Braden, so it's like, Ty, I love you. You know, I'm sure if you asked him 10 minutes later, his choice will be different. If you asked him an hour before finale, his choice will be different. If you asked him at finale, it's going to be different. I think that's just a moment of like, you just got rid of me. I was sitting next to you, so I'm going home next to you. Ty, you know, I think it's just one of those moments.
I see Courtney was saying something about a Terra Stan account. Hey, guys, let me make your life real easy. Any Twitter accounts or Stan accounts or any accounts that you don't like, there's that little block button. You press it, they're out of your life. It's so easy. You never have to be annoyed by people. Use that block button. Um, Love or LUW says, do you think Braden is guaranteed now to make it to the final two? So do you think that
I
regardless he's getting taken?
I think so. I think if Ty wins, he takes Braden. She has a better chance winning against him than Tara. I think if Tara wins, she brings Braden. She has a better chance of winning against him than she does Ty. And obviously, if Braden wins, he's there. So I would almost argue, yeah, he's kind of there.
um, I just remembered.
Okay. And by the way, her name is Nicole Coe. If I'm correcting that correctly, it's not Cox. It is Coe.
I
I
liked it
think
better as Cox. Here's the thing.
Nicole Coe.
Wow.
I'm gonna nickname her Nikoko, or he, or him, or they. Nikoko. That's your new nickname, Nikoko. I'm ready. Coco. I'm sorry, I had a moment. Me and Nicole are having a moment. My
Yep,
fellow
I
Nicole. I'm
know,
ready. Yes.
and you have literally chased me remembering it out of my brain. Oh, Ty. Hold on, it's coming to me. Do we think Ty wins this game? I had such a good point why he won't win no matter what. Oh, got
Um,
it. I was making the argument earlier, or I was making the argument with someone the other day. They were saying Ty deserves to win hands down. Ty never touched the block. He never needed to win anything. He got to the end in that with an alliance. That was a brilliant game move. That was brilliant social game.
yes.
He deserves to win over a Terra.
Okay.
who did not have an alliance, nominated 5 times, always fighting for her life in the game, etc., etc., etc. And I was arguing the point of I respect Tara's game and would reward Tara's game over Ty's game 1,000,000%. To me, it is not like, and I get it. Don't get me wrong. I get Big Brother is a social game, but don't ask me to be like, I was protected by 2 other people, didn't have to win anything, felt safe all the season except for 1 week. And anyway, that's why I deserve $100,000.
No,
To me, that's not a reason you deserve $100,000. I'm
no,
going to give
I
it to I had a fight, win, battle your dumb shit alliance the whole time that always had the numbers and were fine, that never had a stress. I was in a constant state of panic, never could trust anyone, was blindsided every minute. My life was always hanging from a thing, and I get it. So are we going to say that's not a good game because you were always in danger? Okay, but I respect it so much more than someone that didn't have to necessarily do anything in the game, unfortunately. And I love Ty.
I respect both games because so much of Big Brother, I would argue a fair 70% is
Hmm.
luck. It's
Sure.
luck that Ty did end up with people that were real and whatnot and didn't like fall apart. You can't say, "Oh, but Tara had to fight more." Yeah, it's not that Ty didn't because he was behind the mirrors in the control room, like, "All right, you're gonna put me in day 90. Okay, good." No, he was playing a social game where nobody was like, "We're gonna nominate him." So I respect both because so much of it is luck. Some people fall in with people that are loyal and win stuff. Some people don't. They need to fight to the bitter end. Some people get turned on and still manage to pull it out, and win it. Some people don't get turned on. It's all respected because so much of it is luck. You change one little thing, and we could have a very, very different final three. So I think
Yeah.
one thing I want to say was I see Destiny saying we're not going to see a tie in Terra final two. That's how I feel. And this is nothing against any of them, but I do feel that
She if she
Braden, I
I
think
don't okay, go ahead.
I think Braden is second, and I think it's either Ty or Terra are fighting for first or third.
Um, and I would just like to remind everybody that Tara has won a competition every single week, some back to back, nonstop, been winning everything. So the fact that you're counting Tara out is ridiculous to me right
No,
now. Number one. Oh, you're saying because if Tara wins, she won't take Ty, and if
Ty
Braden,
wins.
yeah,
He
yeah,
won't.
yeah, he
What
won't
what
take.
Destiny is saying
Mm,
is Ty and Tara will not sit next to each other in the final two chairs because one will not take the other. Both will most likely take Braden, and I agree. I
yeah,
I would I would
probably.
honestly say I'm shocked. I would love it. I told you guys I would love to see a Ty and Tara final two for a couple days, weeks now. But I'd be shocked if Tara took Ty over Braden, and I'd be shocked if Ty took Tara over Braden. So I don't expect to
Well,
see them next to each other.
I laughed because Carla over on Facebook said Ty'll never win in the final three. He can't even walk and chew gum. And I
Oh,
agree. He's not good at comps. Um I just want Tara to win.
but she
I
has
just
to win
want
her way there, and I think
just
she
to
can do it.
win one more comp. No, two. She has to win 2 parts of the final HOA. But I think she can do. Look, we have seen her win out
Yep.
in them. I think she has a very good chance to win. And I hate to say it, the fact that the show is produced by human beings, I think it is hard not to be biased.
Hmm.
And I would think if I was a producer on this show, the storyline that I would want to see completed is Tara's. I would want to see the way she's been winning so much. I would want to see
Her team.
Tara winning is the end of the story
Yes.
that I would want.
Yep.
And I'm
And I see.
sorry, Braden, I love him as a person.
Oh, absolutely.
He to me has not done enough to win this game.
I
Um
mean, if he
sure,
wins
he's
this
there.
final
He's there.
HOH,
I full on admit that this is the best way to put it. It's what you value in a game or what you think is deserving game. It's all deserving. So I realize I'm being a hypocrite. The game that I respect the most, I respect them all. The one I respect the most is Tara's, the
Mhm.
person who had to struggle and fight week after week after week, but also is making moves. Yes, we will say Braden had a fight, but Braden's fight was, I knew he was safe. Again,
But
Braden
again, that's
walked through that final POV. Kiefer walked through that final POV. Tara played that final POV like her life depended on it.
yes.
That says everything to me. Those two people are like, meh, if I win.
But
And
again, it also
Tara
speaks
wanted to win.
volumes that we think both will take Braden. It speaks volumes that nobody
Yeah,
evicted Braden. It speaks volumes that Braden's been on the block and people don't vote him out.
sure.
That's a testament to social game,
To
regardless.
them
When
knowing they
he's
can beat him.
somebody, when he's somebody in precast assessment that we said, oh, he's going to get himself in trouble. He didn't. So that's, and I see like David King saying Ty might lose to Braden. That's very true. Like I'm sitting here going,
Never.
oh, I see Braden getting second. Not necessarily. It could
Mm.
happen where if a Beth is still upset with Ty and a Jed is still upset with Ty, if that gets enough traction in jury, it could very well happen where Bray gets
Braden's
more
never winning.
favor. And I would argue as well with Braden, I think if pre-jurors were voting, Braden would
Sure.
have
Well,
a lot more favor, and I'd be like, damn, he's gonna
sure.
win it. So, I think, yeah, I think, who is it?
He
David King has
has.
a valid point. He definitely, they all have a shot. That goes without saying. And
No, Braden has no shot. And here's the thing. If
but he does.
pre
He has a one and third shot. That's
okay,
like
but
man,
in
that's fact.
sure, but then in reality, none of the jury's voting for him to win.
Yeah, I don't think none of them.
He needs 4 votes. It's never happening.
But I could see
Um,
some of them voting for him.
great. He's not winning. Um,
I hope he wins now, just so I could say that to you.
oh please. The
He
reason
has a 1 in 3 chance, just like everybody else.
that he wasn't a factor for Tara is because she knows she can beat him. The reason he wasn't a nominee for Ty is they know they can beat him. It wasn't about his
Yeah,
game.
but just like everybody knew they could beat Tara, and look what happened. So Braden could pull out this win, take, let's say, Ty with him, and the jury could go,
No, because he
"Oh, damn,
walked.
good job." And the same thing with the speech. He could give a killer speech, and Ty could fumble it, and then everybody goes, "Okay, okay, Braden,"
Mm,
you know.
I I don't know that. No. All my only point is Braden didn't
I agree with
necessarily, and
you.
again,
W,
I'm just saying, I'm not discrediting his game.
but you
100%.
are.
We all get that you're there, you're there. If you
Yep.
won, you're deserving. I get all that. All I'm saying is, I think of a lot for a lot of people, the reason that Braden got to the point he's at right now has more to do with them knowing the jury's not voting for him than
Which is
him
still
winning.
strategy. It's still strategy.
Well, that's a stupid strategy if you're trying to win the
Is it
game.
though? Because he got to final three.
Well, the
Got
goal's
further
to
than
win.
Kiefer, got further
The,
than Victoria,
but
got
the
further than
goal's to
Rob. Got
win.
you can't say that.
The goal I can. The goal's to win.
Yeah, but he
So
still made
your
it further than
strategy
anybody
was to
else.
get all the way to win and lose. Stupid
You're wrong.
strategy.
You're wrong.
You got to have something you can use. What is he going to use to win?
He has plenty to use.
Like,
He does have comp wins under his belt. He did have a hell of a social game. He did lose his partner in crime very, very early on. A partner in crime who is not in the jury to be a shoe-in vote. And he could sit in those final 2 chairs and give one hell of a speech that makes the jury
I'm
go,
waiting to
oh
hear it.
shit,
So,
what?
so far, his resume is my partner was voted out pre jury.
That's part of an argument. Yes, when you have a very strong ally who's pre-jury, when Ty's allies are in jury, Tara's ally is in jury. You know what I'm trying to say? He lost his
No.
allies early, so he was fighting alone, and he doesn't have somebody who's a shoe-in to vote for him. It's all about how you sell yourself.
My point
I
is, you
I refuse to, you know what it is? I just refuse to count people out. I refuse to sit here and say, well, that guy has no fucking chance. He made it to final three. That means he played a killer game. Yes, I'm getting frustrated. I hope people see him getting frustrated because I don't believe in counting anybody out. And I think all three of them deserve credit because all three of them deserve credit.
100%. They all deserve credit. And great, you got there, but I say the jury's not voting for him.
We'll see.
And you say that he has a slam dunk argument, but you haven't given me one for him yet, which
I
is
didn't say it
further.
was slam dunk, but he still has an argument. He has more of an argument with than Kiefer, who's gone. He has more of an
But the
argument than
argument is
he.
there's people in the jury that will definitely not vote for me.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying in regard to allies. When you lose your allies early and they're out in free jury in the real world just watching, they can't advocate for you. They can't vote for you. He made a final three because of a stellar social game where nobody felt the need to scream at him. Nobody felt the need to like, you're annoying me, go on the block. Nobody felt the need to shit, we got to get him out. That is a testament to an incredible, incredible game.
Okay.
I'm now voting for Braden as my favorite.
Good, you should.
I just don't like when people don't get credit because I think it's so easy to sit here and be like, what'd he do? Meanwhile, the average person would have a panic attack and get evicted day one. So I think
Here's
he
the
deserves.
thing. You can't come at me and go, it's a mathematical fact. And then when I'm giving you facts, go, that's not relevant because I said so. He
He
deserves it.
he has a 1 in 3 chance of
Right.
winning. That's a fact.
Right. And the other facts are he hasn't done anything in the game but win 2 competitions.
And how
Ergo,
many has Taiwan?
what I don't think that Ty has a chance to win over
So Ty
Tara.
and Braden, the jury's just gonna go, we can't vote.
No, but I'm
Oh, so
saying
we're back under Eric rule. Gotcha. Gotcha.
no. No. I'm saying Braden has no chance to win versus Ty
Where's my
because
soundboard? I need a soundboard that has like Eric sounds.
I think Braden has no chance to win with Ty, and I think you're gonna get to see that play out. And then I think on the finale show, every 3 minutes, I'm just gonna have a little button that goes, I told you so. And then you'll have to say, you're right, I bow to you.
I would never bow to you. I never once said that Braden is a shoe-in to win. I said I see Tara or Ty fighting for first. I said that earlier, and I'm not gonna repeat myself. What I'm saying is he still has a chance and he could very well win these comps and sell himself and give a killer speech that makes
Okay,
people in the
it's
jury go,
Ty
oh
and
hell.
Braden, final two. How many votes do you think Braden's getting?
I don't know. It depends on how these final HOHs play out. It depends on speeches. It
Braden
depends
wins it and
how
takes Ty.
it depends on these final. I don't know what the jury's talking about. I don't know if Jed and Beth have calmed down and said to themselves, all right, Ty was our ally, we should support him. I don't know if a Jed and a Beth and a Kiefer are like, no, we're mad at Ty, we worked with him the whole game, we don't want to see him win. That could still happen. And if you have them and a Tina who's like, darn it, I wanted Tara to win, and then Tara's there too, that right there is 5 votes. So it's more so it's I don't know what the jury's thinking. I don't know if the jury's still fired up. I don't know if the jury's calmed down. I don't know. That's like there's no way of knowing.
Well, I don't know that either. I still made my opinion not knowing that. That was all I'm saying. I was
Okay.
just wondering if you wanted to say how many votes you think Braden would get on his game.
I just said.
You don't know.
I just
I'm
said
gonna
he could potentially get 5 if a Beth and a Jed and a Kiefer or like we're not going to side with Ty and then Tina and then also Tara that it could potentially happen.
I will be floored if Braden gets more than 2 votes. And I don't even think he's getting 2 votes. I
Which
think
could
if
happen.
Braden sits next to Ty, he gets no votes. And I think if he sits next to Tara, he gets maybe 1, possibly 2,
Could happen. There's no way of knowing. We'll tune in
which
tomorrow and see.
is the reason he's in final 3 and will be taken to 2, in my opinion.
Okay.
And we'll see if I'm right tomorrow. Unless, imagine the whole entire finale already happened and it's already done and edited and the winner's already been done. Wouldn't that be crazy?
I like Debbie. It won't make any difference because Tara's winning.
Well, I agree Tara's winning. I think Tara or Ty are your winner. And I hope that it's Tara. I want it to be Ty to represent everything that the season was, but unfortunately, Ty has really just fizzled out for me game wise. And I just, you know, again, when you know you're going into the final three, this is your chance to make it to finale, and you're just walking through a comp.
Yep, I hear that.
I've lost all respect for your game.
And I hear that 100%. I see Robin asking in the chat, 8 o'clock p.m. tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow is 8 p.m. Eastern and is a 2 hour finale. So it's an hour earlier, right? Yes, hour earlier, and it will be 2 hours. So I guess they're going to show, like, is it 3 parts? All 3 parts of the HOH, how it unfolds, and then I guess they're also going to announce the favorite, which I'm shocked they only gave one night of voting.
Now, I saw people asking, were we going live after? Were we going to be live during it?
I would say after.
After. Okay, after it is. We saw 2 minutes of him. I'm not sure who. Rachel Ann says I connected more with Ty. Tara did play a great game though. At least Ty isn't the only one to win and get himself to final three. Here's Ty's best case. This is the one thing that I think Ty can say to jury that I actually think is a great thing. He can use the I never was nominated once.
Yep, absolutely.
I think that is a great thing to use to jury.
That
Um, mm,
That's the thing. They all have a block argument. Ty has the I've never hit the block. Braden has the I've survived the block how many freaking times, and Tara has the you sent me home and I fought back. So they all have at least that argument, sitting next to that they can counter each other with.
and will people feel Tara was voted out of the game? She has no right to win.
Could very very well happen. That's a very good thing too. If Tara is to bring, like I said, I don't really see a Ty and a Tara sitting next to each other. I'd be shocked if Tara brings Braden or Braden brings Tara, which I don't see either. But I could see the jury saying, you already were voted out, so you're kind of like on quote unquote borrowed time. Let's vote for Braden. And that could happen as well.
Yes, it could.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we will find it all out tomorrow. I
Yes.
had a crystal ball. I don't know. For me, it's between if to me, it's either Ty or Tara are winning this game. Um, as soon as we know who the final two are while we're all watching live, um, I will tweet out who's winning the second we know who the final two is. I'll say, here is my final answer. This is who's winning, hands down.
I'm just excited to see like who the jurors vote for. And if they're allowed to say like a little tidbit before they vote, I'm curious to see like what like Vic's final
You
thoughts
should
are.
go
I'm curious
back
to
and
see.
watch season one.
That's what I want to hear.
What do you mean?
I want to hear like what they all say before they vote.
Yeah, and I was saying you should go back and watch season one because they did that. And the person who won by one vote. Um,
When she voted the wrong way.
uh-huh.
I saw that clip. I saw that clip. That was
Mhm.
intense. And she she walks down. She Arissa, no, Arissa, no. That's something I would do.
Mhm. Sorry,
That's
but
very
your
that's a
votes.
very nerve-wracking moment because all season you're voting, I vote to evict, I vote to evict, I vote to evict. And then it's like in that moment, you have to vote for your winner. So you have both the things in your little bag and you're trying to look at them under stage lights and it's all dark and you can't see. Then you gotta put the one you need in front and you gotta hold it so nobody can see it. And then you're like, shit, do I have the right one? Oh, it's so stressful. I hate it. It's so stressful.
Well, you know what's not stressful? Any questions that you guys have for your
Yes.
final three. So, Jed, Ty,
Surprise.
uh, Braden, or Tara,
And
if you guys have any questions for them, now is your time to reply to the Hello Friends Twitter or Instagram. Put your questions there. We will be talking to them immediately following finale.
yes.
So make sure that you get us your questions.
Yes, and the post is up in all locations, so you can leave a comment under the Hello Friends tweet. You can leave it under the Hello Friends podcast Facebook post, or you can leave it on the Hello Friends Instagram story. If you go to the story, there's a little box that you can type it right into, and it goes directly to us. Yeah, so it's in all three locations: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Get those questions in for a Tara and a Ty and a Braden, and those interviews will be up later this week.
Later this week. And then, like we said, next week we'll start the postseason interviews where we have the whole cast on here live for all of you to ask your questions. And then we're going to be starting our circle coverage. The circle just had its finale last night, but we're gonna bring those cast members on to talk about each episode, or I think we're gonna do it from eviction to eviction. So we'll do, like, up into the first eviction with an old house guest and with an old circle player, and then we'll bring the evicted circle player on from that eviction to chat and take your guys' questions live, and we'll do fun. So we got a lot more Big Brother Canada shows for you. We got circle shows for you, starting and more. So make sure that you are following wherever you watch.
Circle
Twitter.
is starting after.
Yeah, after, or, it all depends, because we were so smart. We said, oh, we're going to start it on Friday. And then we forgot we have to have the cast on for you guys to ask
Duh.
your questions live. And we know that if there's what, 16 people, that's like 2.5 weeks.
Yes.
Uh,
And we
and that's if
can't
we do
necessarily
one
start
a
right
day.
away.
Right. We can't gotta do one a day, but maybe we'll do two. We're trying to figure out how to make it make
Yes.
sense because we don't want to
Yes.
start the circle and make it be so long in between the recaps and those. We
Yeah.
also know that in 2.5 weeks from now, people probably aren't gonna care about asking the BB people stuff. So we're just trying to juggle it.
And for those asking, the circle is essentially Big Brother, but played individually. So they are house guests, so to speak, that are locked into individual apartments, and they interact via, I guess you would argue, it's like Twitter DMing. They interact through social media, but they are in individual cubicles. It's really interesting. It's a great show. And like Eric was saying, we'll have last season's house guests on, maybe some UK house guests on, and then, of course, the current ones as well.
Yeah. So much new and exciting stuff for all of you. So make sure that you are following, liking, subscribing wherever you are watching our content. If you need to know where to find those things, you can head over to hellofriendspod.com, click on the Find Us Live page. You'll find my socials, Nicole's, the podcasts, our schedule, and more. Of course, you guys sharing the shows with your friends, putting them in groups on Reddit, all of those places where you think people might find these exciting is where you should put them and share them. You're our best advocates for the shows, of course. Thumbsing up and subscribing on YouTube. Hitting the bell is helpful. We do read all of your comments and all the places you guys leave them. We appreciate your 5-star ratings and your nice reviews on the podcast platforms. And until tomorrow night, we will see you guys on the next show. Nicole, final thoughts?
Final thoughts, finale tomorrow. Is there confetti? I don't know on BBCAN. Is there? Is it gold? Is it silver? Is it rainbow? We shall find out. I'm excited for a winner. I'm excited for a favorite. I'm excited for a new BBCAN cast to be out in the world so I can embrace them in my bosom.
Yes, but no. Bye for now, everybody.
Yes.
No.